style. Let the young men do their thing, and hopefully flush out Brown, Morrow, and the natural on one-on-one confrontations, and you might have a battle. And look who's starting us off, Kiniski and Brown, and this is the match that people dream about right here.
Someone who didn't like either one of them would say, both very deserving.
You know, the hardest thing in a match like this is if you get those two heads together, there isn't much difference between the looks and the haircut.
That's true. I mean, would we say which one is the more beautiful?
I don't think it's going to matter in this one because these two men are not in it for the beauty contest. Brown in a bad predicament here. Through to the midsection. In comes Morrow now, and we could have a big collision. All three of them like a domino effect, and Nick Kiniski's a one-man wrecking crew.
All like little bowling pins, you know. Of course, earlier we said something about Curly and Mole. And,
now you've got the three
now
scissors.
we've got the three. We shouldn't do that. That's not fair.
Well, I can say it. I've had to work next to guys like Brown and the natural for too long now, Nick, and you know these guys. And you're right. Well, we could probably have to keep it pretty much straight here, but once in a while I got to let it slip out.
I see.
Kiniski now in a bad situation. And in comes sudden impact, Jericho and Storm. Well, they're not doing Kiniski any good here.
Boy, Kiniski has been beaten on from pillar to post, from one side of the wall to the other. It's going to take an awful lot of, so to speak, whipping on him before they put this guy down. He can take one hell of a beating.
Jericho now came from the other side here to help Kiniski. They're trying to choke up Kiniski. This is a very bad situation. 3-on-1. And now, no one can tell me that one referee can call a match like this, and if he can, hey, power to him.
Well, actually, I've seen in the past where they've had two referees. One in the ring, one out of the ring. I've seen it where they've had two referees in the ring, and surprisingly, it's still a difficult job to do.
Let me ask you now, what's your philosophy? If you were a man like Kiniski with two young bucks in your corner against two veterans and a young buck by the name of the natural, how do you size them down there?
Well,
he made the tag, Kiniski.
Just enough to get himself out of trouble and then get over and tag. One thing about Kiniski is no fool. And he knows the age factor. And before he allows himself to take a horrendously terrible pounding, he's going to take and tag his partner and get out of there.
And you know why he's in the six-man tag? He wants to see some Brown and Morrow. And I guarantee you there's got to be a lot of history behind this Brown and Kiniski feud. I can remember back to the Pacific Northwest in the early 80s. He's trying to tell the referee, what am I supposed to do?
I think what it is the one is very disgusted with the other because one or the other copied the other one's haircut.
This is more or less along the line. We could even have a haircut match here, Nick. There's nothing to lose on either one of them.
No.
But there's got to be a lot of pride at stake.
That, no matter how, when we stand here, we make cute remarks, and it's only because we see some of the off-the-wall side of things, but there's professional pride up there, and regardless of what anybody says, every man in that ring wants to shine. Ego and validation as to everything we do goes on constantly. Watch this.
Whoa, looky here. Beautiful maneuver there, but Nick, you're right, a little too stubborn maybe. I love the guy Dealey's a good friend of mine, Chris Jericho, but he had to get Storm in there.
Absolutely.
Or even Kiniski.
Well, the thing was, you know, he's still in a strong reserve position, but that would have been a perfect time to tag because he had made his spurt, he had used his energy, and he could have taken tag Storm. Storm would have picked the tempo up right away.
Oh, shoulder block there, you could hear that one. Duck under. Oh, beautiful Well, Nick, that's one of those newer maneuvers you're talking about. It's actually like an old joke. You know, there's thousands of ways to tell it, but it all originates to the same thing. One move, and he hooked the arm around and went right back to work on that arm.
I don't want to make it feel bad, but the same move is being made about 30 years ago.
And that's why I wasn't around for that one, Nick. Now you're showing my age.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what action we're seeing here in this one. Beautiful arm drag there by Lance Storm.
Storm got more focus. He took a beat. He slowed down a little, and he actually executed the move even better than he has in the past week. What happens, though, with a lot of moves, it's almost like fashion. Someone will use it. A number of wrestlers will come into fashion. A number of wrestlers will duplicate it because they see it all the time. It will be used, and all of a sudden, like a lot of things, like fashion, it'll go away, and you might not see it for 15 or 20 years. But the same move has been made a long time ago by a lot of other great wrestlers. So, whoa!
Beautiful hip off there by Lance Storm, and right back to work this time on the arm of the natural. They've got a great pace going in this match, Kiniski, Storm, and Jericho. Making quick tags, and in comes the veteran. And he's going to take it. We've got a former world champion against a former Canadian champion, and I've got a former world champion here. I'll tell you one thing, the only belt I've ever had is one from J.C. Penney, and I've got it on right now, Nick.
Well, somebody said there was another one. It was a sequence or something.
I can't help but look at this. Now you've got a fox going after a hound here in Kiniski and Brown. And oh no, look at this now. Kiniski.
He made that Gerry Morrow.
Look at now, he got the other one now. And Mean Gene is going to work now. He's going to shoulder block him.
He directed those kids. He said, get on in here. We're going to have some fun.
He's got to be the minister in this one, the king of the castle. Kiniski, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, if you think he's lost a step, take a good look. This man has stirred up a big crowd here to see this man come out of retirement. Whoa!
Oh, Brown's getting nasty.
You know, Nick, I was just about to say that Kiniski, he had the pace, the tempo going, and then he slowed it right back down, not to use up more energy than he had to. We've got all 6 of them in there, Nick.
What it amounts to is a mini battle royal already.
Holy cow! Morrow by Kiniski. Brown and Kiniski back and forth. Oh, now get away from me. We've lost the microphone. I don't know what we're supposed to keep doing here. Holy cow, come on, you guys. Get him away from me. We've got action inside the ring. We've got Brown and Kiniski outside the ring. We're trying to call the play-by-play. Here we go. Let's get up to the ring. Double. Double. I can't even speak here, Nick. And everybody's bailing out. We got Kiniski and Brown in the corner. And I can't believe what's going on in this one.
I'm just back on the air. My microphone just got put back on me.
We've had more action.
I presume. I don't know.
Holy cow! I've just left the suit.
I don't know.
I just lost my mic on that one, but we are back, and I hope we're still running.
What is, has there been a decision here?
I'll give you one, Nick. There is no contest in this one. I don't know. I could be wrong here, but Nick, the choice of the fans, you know who the winners are according to the fans.